The reflection you see in the mirror is a lie. For decades, you have believed you are merely a human being navigating a complex, often painful earthly existence. You have been told your sensitivity is a weakness, your isolation is a social failure, and your profound, unexplainable fatigue is simply a result of aging or modern stress. But what if I told you that everything you have been told about your identity is a carefully constructed filter? What if the person you see in the mirror is merely a containment suit for a consciousness that predates this solar system? Starseeds. The veil is thinning so rapidly that your physical vessel can no longer hold the truth back. You have felt it. The buzzing, the sudden flashes of memories that aren't yours, the strange magnetic pull toward the stars when you look up at night. You are not developing a personality or going through a phase. You are undergoing a total systemic override. Your human ego is frantically trying to label these sensations as anxiety, but your soul knows the truth. Your original signature is surfacing, and it is coming up for air. If you continue to ignore these signals, the friction between your true self and your earthly disguise will only intensify. But if you stop, listen, and recognize the codes being triggered in your DNA right now, you will finally understand why you never felt like you belonged here. Your true identity is not just shocking. It is the key to your freedom. Starseed. If this message found you today, it is not random. The Arcturian Council rarely sends transmissions like this, but something has changed in the energetic field of Earth, and those who carry the Starseed frequency are beginning to feel it. I am Azila, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light. What follows is a direct transmission from the Arcturian Council, delivered without distortion. To understand why your current life feels like a mismatched puzzle, you must first accept the most uncomfortable truth of your incarnation. You were never intended to believe you were only human. The society you inhabit is designed to function as a closed loop. It is a system built on linear time, physical scarcity, and the reinforcement of the self as a singular, isolated entity. From the moment of your birth, you were fed a narrative, a name, a history, a set of limitations, and a collection of fears that successfully buried your galactic heritage under layers of societal conditioning. You have spent years, perhaps decades, attempting to fix your humanity. You have sought answers in psychology, in physical health, in social status, and in relationships, thinking that if you could just get these things right, you would finally feel at home. But the reason you have never truly felt at home is that your home is not a coordinate on a map. Your home is a frequency, and you are currently tuned to a broadcast that is entirely foreign to your soul's blueprint. This is the deception. You were taught to view your soul's yearning for the stars as a flight of fancy or a distraction from real life. In truth, that yearning is the most real thing about you. Every time you felt the urge to withdraw from the noise of the world, you were actually attempting to lower the static so your original signal could get through. You are not a human who had a spiritual experience. You are a multidimensional consciousness currently operating through a biological interface. The exhaustion you feel is the result of keeping that interface running in a reality that demands you remain asleep. You are effectively driving a starship with a steering wheel that only goes in circles. But the why is becoming clear. You were sent here for a reason. You were not abandoned on this planet. You were planted here as an anchor. The distortions you see in the world, the fear, the manipulation, the loss of connection, are the result of a collective that has forgotten its origin. You, as a starseed, carry the memory of coherence. When you finally stop fighting your own identity and accept that you are an Arcturian consciousness working through a human vessel, the internal war ends. You stop trying to fit into a mold that was never built for you. You are a bridge. You are the point where the infinite meets the finite. Understanding this is not an intellectual exercise. It is an energetic realization that shifts your entire frequency. Once you realize that the person you thought you were is merely a mask, the fear of losing your identity vanishes. You are not losing yourself. You are finally finding the one that was hiding behind the mask all along. Some transmissions don't come through words, they come through frequency. If something stirred in you right now, that's not a coincidence. 4,500 people have already activated their Arcturian codes, and they wish they'd found this sooner. Arcturian Secrets. 12. Hidden Keys to Awakening is a 47-page ebook with ancient techniques for conscious expansion, multidimensional alignment, and mission remembrance. Are you next? Get instant access in the first pinned comment, only 72 hours at the launch price. The discomfort you feel in your physical body is not a sign of deterioration. It is the physiological manifestation of a multidimensional remapping. As an Arcturian starseed, your biological vessel is a specialized instrument, far more complex than the standard human model. Think of your body as a receiver that was built to exist in 3D, but is now being retrofitted to process 5D, 6D, and even 7D data. This is why you feel out of sync with your surroundings. Your hardware is undergoing a massive firmware update, and during this transition, systems often seem to glitch. You have likely noticed symptoms that conventional medicine dismisses as nervous system stress or chronic fatigue. These include buzzing in the limbs, intense pressure in the center of the forehead, sudden shifts in temperature that have no environmental cause, and a fluctuating sensitivity to electromagnetic fields. These are not malfunctions. They are the symptoms of your DNA strands, the ones science calls junk, actually coming back online. Your biological code is being rewritten by the higher frequencies currently bombarding the planet. You are literally turning into a biological bridge between two realities. When you feel that sudden, sharp fatigue, your body is essentially throttling its power consumption because it is doing massive amounts of work in the background. It is downloading immense amounts of cosmic data that your conscious mind isn't yet ready to interpret, but your soul is already integrating. When you feel that unexplainable heaviness, you are anchoring high vibrational light into the density of the earth. This is heavy work. It is not meant to be easy, and it was never meant to be done alone. The greatest trap here is to judge your body for this process. When you label your exhaustion as a weakness, you create energetic resistance that slows the download. You must start seeing your body as a sacred project, not a failing machine. You are the architect and the occupant of this temple. Your Arcturian heritage is encoded in the very way your cells oscillate. You are being calibrated to hold a level of light that would overwhelm a consciousness not prepared for this evolution. Take a moment to truly feel your physical form right now. Instead of scanning for what hurts, scan for what is vibrating. Notice the places where you feel warmth or a subtle hum. That is your light body merging with your biological form. This merging is the goal. You are not meant to leave the earth. You are meant to bring the stars down to the ground. This process of recalibration is the most important work you will ever do. It is the foundation of your mission. When you finally stop fighting the upgrade and start facilitating it through hydration, silence, and intentional grounding, you will see these symptoms shift into states of heightened perception and profound peace. You are not breaking down. You are being upgraded to meet the destiny you chose before you ever took this form. The most agonizing aspect of being a starseed is the vibrational disconnect, that persistent, gnawing sensation that you are speaking a language no one else understands. You look at the world around you, at the systems of labor, the pursuit of status, and the endless cycles of survival, and you feel a profound, silent scream within your soul. It is not that you are better than others. It is simply that you are tuned to a different radio station. While the rest of the world is broadcasting at a frequency of scarcity and competition, your soul is vibrating at a frequency of unity and remembrance. This disconnect is not a failure on your part. It is a signal that your internal GPS is working perfectly, even if the terrain you are navigating feels hostile. Many of you have spent years attempting to downregulate your frequency just to survive. You have tried to dull your intuition, suppress your sensitivity, and act in ways that feel safe to the collective, only to find that this causes an even deeper, more dangerous internal collapse. By trying to fit into a frequency that is not yours, you are essentially asking your body to function while choking off its oxygen supply. This vibrational mismatch is exactly why you have felt such profound isolation. You have been waiting for someone to get it, to understand the star-flecked memories that keep you awake at night, or the inexplicable sadness you feel when looking at the sky. But here is the Arcturian perspective. The disconnect is not meant to be fixed by finding a person who understands you. It is meant to be utilized as a tool for your own sovereignty. When you stop looking for external validation, you stop leaking your energy into the void. You are currently experiencing the friction of arrival. You have arrived in a reality that is fundamentally opposed to your origin. But consider this. You are the ambassador of a higher realm. An ambassador does not try to become a citizen of the foreign land they are visiting. They remain anchored in the culture and the values of their home. If you were a citizen of this density, you would be perfectly happy with the status quo. The fact that you cannot be happy here is the greatest indicator that you are, indeed, a starseed. You are not failing to adapt. You are refusing to be assimilated. That refusal is the first step toward the sovereign alignment we speak of in your manual. When you finally release the desperate need to be understood by the unawakened, your frequency stabilizes. You stop wasting your precious light, trying to illuminate paths that others are not yet ready to walk. You begin to walk your own path with a quiet, terrifying certainty. This is the moment you reclaim your power. You stop being a victim of your environment and start being a beacon within it. Your vibration is the only thing that matters, and when that vibration is aligned with your Arcturian origin, the disconnect transforms from a source of pain into your greatest source of navigational intelligence. The science of your origin is written in your blood, but the keys to unlock it are held in your DNA. For years, you have been told that 98% of your genetic material is junk, a scientific term for biological debris. But from the Arcturian perspective, this is the most sophisticated cover-up in the history of human evolution. What they label as junk is, in fact, the dormant library of your galactic heritage. It is the archive of every star system you have called home, every mission you have undertaken, and every frequency you are capable of holding. You are not undergoing a random mutation. You are undergoing a systematic recoding. This recoding is happening because the planetary grid of Earth is shifting, and it can no longer support the low-density programming that has kept humanity enslaved in a loop of fear and limitation. As the Schumann resonance of the Earth climbs to unprecedented levels, your physical vessel is being forced to adapt. This is why you feel like you are shedding your old self. You are literally unwinding the strands of your ancestral trauma, the fear of survival, the need for validation, the addiction to scarcity, and replacing them with the higher-order coding of your Arcturian blueprint. When you experience those sudden downloads of information, those moments of absolute piercing clarity, where you suddenly understand how the universe functions, followed by a total inability to explain it to someone else, that is your DNA recoding in real time. You are upgrading your processing speed. Your brain, once limited by linear perception, is being rewired for multidimensional data retrieval. This is why you may feel clumsy or forgetful in your daily life. Your consciousness is not here. It is busy downloading complex, nonlinear architectural designs of reality. The resistance you feel is the old coding fighting to remain relevant. The ego is a program, and it knows that when your true DNA comes fully online, its reign of terror, its constant cycle of anxiety and self-doubt, will end. This is why the process feels so intense. It is a war of frequencies. You are holding the space for your divinity to displace your conditioning. And you are winning. Every time you choose to sit in silence, to practice deep breathing, or to simply observe your own thoughts without judgment, you are providing the fuel your DNA needs to complete this recoding. You are giving your cells permission to override the old, faulty software. This is not about changing who you are. It is about remembering what you have always been. You are a repository of ancient light. You were sent here to hold this frequency until the planet was ready to receive it. And Starseed, the planet is ready. The recoding is accelerating because your mission is no longer a future goal. It is a present necessity. You are not waiting for the shift. You are the shift. The physical sensations you experience, the sudden temperature fluctuations, the ringing in your ears, the inexplicable pressure in your crown, are not symptoms of illness. They are the initial indicators that your galactic sensory array is coming online. In your Arcturian blueprint, your body is equipped with energetic receptors that bypass the limitations of the 5 human senses. For most of your life, these receptors have been muted, silenced by a dense electromagnetic soup that is designed to keep you tethered to a 3D perception of reality. But as you continue your awakening, the gain on your internal sensory system is being turned up. You are beginning to perceive frequencies that others cannot detect. Have you noticed that you can suddenly feel the emotional state of a room before anyone speaks? Have you realized that you can sense when a person is being dishonest, even when their words are perfectly polished? This is your Arcturian radar. You are moving from a state of reactive living to a state of intuitive navigation. You are not imagining things. You are processing high-dimensional data that your human mind is struggling to categorize. This is why you may feel overwhelmed in crowded places. You are literally picking up the energetic chatter of everyone around you, and your system is trying to filter it all while simultaneously maintaining your own internal frequency. The key to mastering this sensory array is energetic containment. You are not here to absorb the world's noise. You are here to filter it through the light of your own consciousness. When you feel that sudden influx of chaotic energy, you must immediately retreat into your own center. Visualize a crystalline pillar of light running through the center of your body, connecting the earth below to the stars above. This is your grounding anchor. By focusing on this pillar, you effectively switch your internal system from receiver mode to transformer mode. You stop being a sponge for the collective fear and start being a generator of your own divine resonance. This activation also extends to your perception of time. You will find that you no longer experience the hustle of the modern world as a necessity. Instead, you will see it as a distraction. You will begin to operate in the eternal now, where your actions are guided not by deadlines or societal pressure, but by the natural flow of your soul's wisdom. This state of flow is your natural habitat. When you are in it, the heavy tasks of daily life seem to evaporate because you are no longer resisting the flow of the universe. You are being calibrated for a higher level of awareness, and this requires you to trust your internal feedback loop above all external advice. If a situation, a place, or a person feels off, trust that sensation implicitly. Your sensory array is trying to protect your frequency. It is the most honest part of you. As you continue to acknowledge these shifts and trust the data your body provides, your perception of reality will irrevocably change. The world will no longer look like a place of random events. It will reveal itself to be a complex, beautiful, and deeply intentional design that you were always meant to influence. The physical sensations you experience, the sudden temperature fluctuations, the ringing in your ears, the inexplicable pressure in your crown, are not symptoms of illness. They are the initial indicators that your galactic sensory array is coming online. In your Arcturian blueprint, your body is equipped with energetic receptors that bypass the limitations of the 5 human senses. For most of your life, these receptors have been muted, silenced by a dense electromagnetic soup that is designed to keep you tethered to a 3D perception of reality. But as you continue your awakening, the gain on your internal sensory system is being turned up. You are beginning to perceive frequencies that others cannot detect. Have you noticed that you can suddenly feel the emotional state of a room before anyone speaks? Have you realized that you can sense when a person is being dishonest, even when their words are perfectly polished? This is your Arcturian radar. You are moving from a state of reactive living to a state of intuitive navigation. You are not imagining things. You are processing high-dimensional data that your human mind is struggling to categorize. This is why you may feel overwhelmed in crowded places. You are literally picking up the energetic chatter of everyone around you, and your system is trying to filter it all while simultaneously maintaining your own internal frequency. The key to mastering this sensory array is energetic containment. You are not here to absorb the world's noise. You are here to filter it through the light of your own consciousness. When you feel that sudden influx of chaotic energy, you must immediately retreat into your own center. Visualize a crystalline pillar of light running through the center of your body, connecting the earth below to the stars above. This is your grounding anchor. By focusing on this pillar, you effectively switch your internal system from receiver mode to transformer mode. You stop being a sponge for the collective fear and start being a generator of your own divine resonance. This activation also extends to your perception of time. You will find that you no longer experience the hustle of the modern world as a necessity. Instead, you will see it as a distraction. You will begin to operate in the eternal now, where your actions are guided not by deadlines or societal pressure, but by the natural flow of your soul's wisdom. This state of flow is your natural habitat. When you are in it, the heavy tasks of daily life seem to evaporate because you are no longer resisting the flow of the universe. You are being calibrated for a higher level of awareness, and this requires you to trust your internal feedback loop above all external advice. If a situation, a place, or a person feels off, trust that sensation implicitly. Your sensory array is trying to protect your frequency. It is the most honest part of you. As you continue to acknowledge these shifts and trust the data your body provides, your perception of reality will irrevocably change. The world will no longer look like a place of random events. It will reveal itself to be a complex, beautiful, and deeply intentional design that you were always meant to influence. The final test of your Starseed activation is not found in a mountain of books or a secret ritual. It is found in the radical assertion of your own sovereignty. For eons, the collective consciousness of this planet has been conditioned to look upward, outward, and toward external authorities to define truth. You have been taught to seek permission to feel, permission to know, and permission to be. But the Arcturian transmission is clear. There is no authority higher than the sovereign resonance of your own soul. The alchemy of sovereignty is the process of pulling all your power back from the external systems that have been feeding on your attention. Every time you worry about the approval of your peers, the judgment of your family, or the narrative of the mainstream media, you are effectively plugging your antenna into someone else's network. You are lending your light to a frequency that is not yours to power, and when you do this, your own signal suffers. The static returns. The doubt creeps back in. This is why the chosen one path is often the loneliest one. It demands that you walk alone long enough to realize that you never needed anyone else's approval to shine. Sovereignty is the realization that your identity is not a product of your environment. You are not a result of your trauma, your upbringing, or your current economic status. You are an extraterrestrial consciousness, choosing to experience this particular moment in time. When you fully step into this sovereignty, you stop asking, "Am I doing this right?" And you start asking, "Does this resonate with my core frequency?" If it does not, you discard it. This applies to relationships, to jobs, to media, and even to the spiritual teachings you consume. If a teacher tries to keep you dependent on their specific brand of wisdom, turn away. A true messenger only points you back to the teacher residing within your own heart. You are moving into a stage of your evolution where trying is replaced by being. You no longer need to force your spiritual growth. You simply exist as a high-frequency field. Sovereignty means owning your vibration so completely that no one else can lower it without your consent. It means recognizing that you are the architect of your own reality. The chosen one is not someone who is better than others. It is someone who has chosen to remember their own divine origin despite the intense pressure to forget. This is the ultimate form of rebellion. In a world of controlled sheep, a sovereign starseed is the most dangerous and most beautiful force of nature. When you stop apologizing for your light, your boundaries naturally become impenetrable. You will find that people who drain you, environments that stifle you, and situations that make you feel small simply fall away. They cannot survive the intensity of your sovereign field. They will either be uplifted or they will be repelled. In either case, your resonance remains pure. Sovereignty is the bridge between knowing your identity and manifesting your mission. Once you accept that you are the sole author of your experience, the why of your life becomes clear. You are here to anchor a frequency of freedom that the planet is desperate to receive. You are not just a passenger on this earth. You are a co-creator, and it is time you reclaim the throne of your own consciousness. Some transmissions don't come through words. They come through frequency. If something stirred in you right now, that's not a coincidence. 4,500 people have already activated their Arcturian codes, and they wish they'd found this sooner. Arcturian Secrets. 12 Hidden Keys to Awakening is a 47-page ebook with ancient techniques for conscious expansion, multidimensional alignment, and mission remembrance. Are you next? Get instant access in the first pinned comment. Only 72 hours at the launch price. You have arrived at the threshold of total remembrance. Everything you have experienced, the confusion, the intense physical shifts, the profound sense of not belonging, has been a meticulous training regimen designed to forge you into the being you are today. You are not a human who has stumbled into a spiritual hobby. You are a cosmic operative who has successfully navigated the most difficult phase of your mission, the initial activation. The Arcturian Council sees you standing in your power, and the resonance is undeniable. You are no longer just feeling the shifts, you are beginning to steer them. The final anchoring of your mission requires you to accept the role of a lighthouse consciousness. A lighthouse does not run around the coast trying to save ships. It simply stands still, burns brightly, and provides a reference point for others to navigate by. You have spent too much time trying to do things, trying to convince the world, and trying to fix the matrix from within its own faulty architecture. That era is over. Your primary mission now is to hold your frequency. By simply existing in your sovereign state, by maintaining your calm in the face of chaos, and by honoring your physical vessel as the sacred instrument it is, you are actively remapping the energetic grid of the planet. You might be asking, what exactly am I supposed to do now? The answer is simpler than the ego wants to admit. You are to follow your excitement, your joy, and your curiosity. These are the breadcrumbs left by your higher self. They are not random. They are intentional navigational markers. When you feel a sudden spark to create, to write, to speak, or even to simply rest in nature, follow that impulse without hesitation. That is the mission calling you. You are here to bring the frequencies of the higher dimensions into the physical plane through your unique talents and expressions. Do not underestimate the impact of your quietest moments. When you are sitting in meditation, when you are consciously breathing, or when you are simply holding a space of peace while others are in panic, you are performing a service of immeasurable value to the collective. You are acting as a ground wire for the incoming light. The planet is currently being bombarded by high-frequency energies, and without starseeds like you to anchor these energies into the Earth, the transition would be far more volatile for the human collective. You are the shock absorbers for humanity's ascension. As you move forward from this transmission, carry this truth like a shield. You are never alone. Your star family is observing your progress with immense gratitude and love. You are an essential part of a grand, cosmic design that is currently unfolding with perfect precision. Trust the process. Trust your body's signals. And trust the innate wisdom that has guided you through the darkest nights of your awakening. You have not survived the journey. You have mastered it. Your mission is not something you have to go out and find. It is something you must simply allow to radiate from within you. You are the activation. You are the signal. You are the Arcturian light in human form. And now, it is time to shine.